Welcome in. This is a quick video by viewer request. A couple people have asked what the status of this clover plot is. You guys saw me out here spraying it with some glyphosate. Well, I actually came back out here about a month ago and sprayed it again with a little bit more IMOX and a little bit of low-dose glyphosate, 1/2 ounce to the gallon of glyphosate. Then I overseeded it with clover and forage oats about a week ago and then mowed everything to lay down as a mulch cover. Well, we got oats coming up. This is completely no-till, and we've got our young clover starting to come up. We do have a lot of clover in here that we've been managing. This upper hillside gets a lot of grass competition, so it's not quite as prevalent up there. But down here on this lower side, you can see just how much clover has survived the summer and is thriving even through all the herbicide use out here. We got a lot of clover. The deer have been using this plot increasingly more as the days are starting to get cooler, and all this clover is looking great. Has been very happy with the herbicide usage, and we also gave it a little bump of fertilizer. My goal this year was to significantly reduce my time and labor out here, so I didn't come in here and disc it, till it, or tear it all up, because I'm trying to establish a perennial clover plot. So by spraying it, and then coming back in here a week or two later and mowing it, by doing that, I created a really nice mulch cover here, and all that oat and all the young clover had no problem germinating and coming up through this heavy standing thatch cover out here. So the no-till still works fantastic, even when you're just overseeding for a fall clover plot. We're in a period of drought right now. We've not had rain for about a week since that little tropical storm came through, and the clover is still hanging on really happy with daytime temperatures in the 80s and no rain. The extended forecast also shows no rain for about 10 days, but I think with all this mulch cover down here, we're going to be able to trap a lot of moisture in the soil. So that's where your no-till comes in, having all this thatch sitting here instead of raw exposed soil that's going to just bake this seed. So no-till is still my favorite way to go when and where I'm able to do that. This is a pretty good look at just how happy these oats are. Had no problem coming up through 3 inches of thatch here. So definitely the way to go. Spray it, seed everything, come back in, mow it, off to the races. Most of this bright clover you see was planted last fall conventionally, where I disked all this up, planted some oats and winter peas, cultipacted under, and then top sowed it with clover, knowing I was going to try to establish a perennial plot. Then we've sprayed it twice this summer and mowed it twice this summer, and it's looking pretty good. But you can definitely tell the difference between the mature clover, this larger, darker green, and this year's clover. This one's just starting to leaf out. This one just did leaf out. So you can definitely tell we got good germination by just overseeding that clover this year. It might look like a lot of brown on this hillside compared to the lower end, but trust me, we've got a lot of clover and a lot of oats starting to come in. I think this plot is going to grain up nicely, especially if we can get a little bump of rain. Wanted to show you this little isolated area here. For some reason, this area didn't grow much grass, which is kind of interesting. And so all we did was broadcast the seed over this, just like we did the areas that had heavy grass. But let's take a look at the germination. There it is. That's all clover coming in, and that's the oats coming in. So even the area that didn't have much thatch at all, where it's just broadcasted on the bare ground, is still looking good. I put a little bit of corn out here before we left for the weekend, and all the corn's gone. The salt lick looks to be licked a little bit, but not much. But as always, I run trail cameras, so let's take a look at it and see what's on it. As expected, most of the activity on the camera is my herd of does that frequents the back of the property back here. Traditionally out here, we don't have that many bucks throughout the summertime. Very rarely do we actually see any bucks in a summer pattern. It seems to be not until late October or into November is when we get most of our buck activity. So it's not surprising that we only have a herd of doe out here in the clover plot. The good news is most of the activity is during daylight hours, which is fantastic. Hopefully that holds on into the season, so we'll have a good chance to hopefully get a buck this year. Quick update, it's working. Couple herbicide uses, a little bit of mowing. You can keep your plot looking good. Come in here, do a light overseeding in the fall ahead of some rain. Should be off to the races. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support. And as always, God bless, take care. We'll catch you on the next one.